for me, teaching presence is both theoretically and practically the most important element in a course. And conceptually, it's around these three principles of designing the course, facilitating learning, and the direction of the learning process. So what does this look like for me is, first I try to create an engaging, intentional, and appropriate flow of activities and assignments. And second, what I try to do is couple those tasks with explicit instructions for what's expected of the students in each, and then pair those with rubrics that help students understand what I expect of them and how they will be assessed. So it's really putting all those three functions together: the design, the facilitation, and the direction beforehand. And that's where I really spend the most of my time and effort, is packaging this stuff, front loading the course with these elements so that students can be successful. So cognitive presence is the intended outcome of a community inquiry. It's what we do, put all efforts towards. And it's really a process that starts with a triggering event. It moves to exploration, integration, and finally reflection, or I would say synthesis of all this knowledge. And so I implement this in two ways. And the first is through the structure of the course, and the second is the flow of assignments. So to the structure of the course, what I do is I create that triggering event right away by putting the course activities and assignments, or I would call them challenges, first. Where most courses have the resources first, I flip that and put the challenges first. So that's the trigger event. The resources then act as that element of exploration where students do their research. And then I'll use discussions often as an opportunity for students to start testing out those ideas or integrating their new knowledge. And finally, that synthesis or reflection comes in the final assessment of the week, where are the modules where students put that information together in a more summative assessment. So if you're new to teaching online, I would tell you to focus on three things: simplicity, clarity, and consistency. To simplicity, the first mistake I see instructors making when they move to online is they give too much information, they create too many assignments, they use too many tools, they decorate their courses with too many colors, fonts, and graphics. It's all just too much. So the principle of simplicity suggests that in this case, less is definitely more. And what we really want to do is critically assess what we're doing and why we want students to do it. And so I would recommend, as a practical step, is to work through the understanding by design framework, even in just one module, to determine exactly what you're trying to do and exactly what you want students to do. Pausing for a second. The next principle is clarity. And the big challenge when you're an online instructor is not the geographical distance between you and students, but it's the transactional distance. And so what we need to do is provide students that bridge between us and them, and that's through explicit instructions and explicit expectations. So I'm going to do this by really creating step-by-step instructions. Many people would say that they maybe are too prescriptive, but I don't want students to think about what or how they're going to do it. I want to think about the content that they're engaged with, not the logistics behind accomplishing an assignment. And finally, consistency pulls it all together, where I'll pick one or two tools that the students will use throughout the term for every assignment. I'll pick 2 or 3 assignment types that students will do. And so once they get used to doing an assignment one time, they can be successful completing those types of assignments throughout the course. So that's clarity comes together with consistency and simplicity when you choose things more intentionally in your online course.